Well, it's time for old Jay Snip to talk about Baltimore, Maryland, now Philadelphia, New York, and what was recently Ferguson. All protest and or rioting for the same reason. Innocent man killed, police not charged. And yes, they're the ones that killed the person in question. You had, I don't know the guy's name now, big black dude that was on the side of the street selling cigarettes. Didn't have a license to sell cigarettes, so they choked him to death. This kid now in Maryland, or Baltimore, whatever, got caught doing something, right? Put in the back of the paddy wagon, broke his spine and killed him. Now breaking news, oh well, there was a prisoner in there with him, and that prisoner said that he said he wanted to hurt himself in the back of the van. Now, if this was the first complaint against that police department, I would hold weight to that statement. But supposedly, this is the 389th or so, there have been 389 or thereabouts complaints on that exact same police department in recent times for the same thing. People complaining that while I was being taken to jail, right, to do my time, I got caught, whatever, they injured me during the drive. So if this kid wanted to hurt himself, and the other prisoner said he did, so, you know, are you going to be able to physically injure yourself knowingly to where you broke your own spine and killed yourself? First of all, that reminds me of the banker suicides over the last couple of years, in which one of them shot himself with a nail gun 7 or 8 a dozen times before he finally got the nail in the right spot. Let me tell you something. I've never had to shoot or even accidentally shot myself with a nail gun, but let me just tell you, can you imagine the pain of one nail getting shot into your skin anywhere? So this guy's shooting himself all over trying to kill himself, and then finally gets the right shot and kills himself. Do you really buy that? That's the official story, right? So you think I'm gonna buy that this kid, the other kid, or I don't know if it was a kid or adult that was in the paddy wagon with him, says, yeah, that's what happened. You don't think for a second, again, money talks and BS walks, you don't think that they could pull that prisoner aside and say, look, we'll even drop your charges or make some kind of deal with him. We'll give you a bunch of money, whatever it is. Just say this. We need the rioting to stop. We need this to calm down. Please help us, you know, however they're going to do it. You show someone enough money and they'll do anything. Case in point, Sandy Hook. All the parents got millions of dollars in donation money. No kid even died. To date, still, on the record, have any death certificates been issued, which is required in all states? Nope. Not going to issue any death certificates on those guys. Interesting. Very interesting. Little Noah Posner. I broke that story when this happened. He died at Sandy Hook. Yet, that was in 2012. In 2014, sometime around November-ish, last year, he died again in a Pakistan school shooting. And they even used the same exact picture with the same coat, the same picture that was used in Sandy Hook. And now he's got a different Islamic, Middle Eastern name as opposed to Lenny Posner over here in America. And anybody who posts that picture online, even for a brief second, which is completely covered under copyright law, Fair Use Act in the copyright law, including myself using it, got a takedown notice from YouTube, and I did too. And I had to take my video down. And in my whole video, a small portion showed that picture of him now being dead in Pakistan after he already died in America. And the side note was coat, jacket, you know, Exhibit A or whatever of the copyright complaint, leather coat or whatever it was. Alex Jones got takedown notices, so he said he's going to fight it through his lawyers because anybody that posted that particular picture was getting takedown notices. And anybody who replied back to YouTube to say, no, this is covered under fair use, guys. It's one single picture. My whole video is 20 minutes long. Wrong, we disagree with you. The other person's going to be in favor. Now you got a strike against your YouTube credit. 3 strikes in 6 months and you're gone. You're banned. Right? So, I just said, fine, take it down. Doesn't matter. The information's already out there. My video already went viral anyways. So, point in case, those people got a lot of money to pretend that they lost somebody and work on the heartstrings of Americans. If they can do it, do you think some poor person, lower class, in the ghetto, so to speak, isn't going to jump on an opportunity to take some money or whatever to just say these simple words, the guy sitting across from me said he wanted to harm himself? You don't think they, you know, as we say, they'll turn on each other, right? The mob does it. The mafia does it. Some poor kid in the ghetto's not going to do it to someone he didn't even know? Come on, the kid, he's already dead anyways. All I got to do is say this and I get a bunch of money? Possibly, right? So, you know, I look at that, I watch, you know, the amount of police brutality. And these are only the cases that have cameras that recorded it, which is even more rare, except it's becoming more and more common nowadays. So I'm watching this little clip yesterday from an incident from 2014. I'm going to say they're probably in their late 20s, out in New York City, walking the street, whatever, you know, about to go to I don't know if it was a club or just out to eat or what. They were just outside of some facility. Police officer walks up to this girl that's a friend of the party that's there with her. And he's like, you know, she's like smoking a cigarette, and he's like grabbing her and touching her hands, kind of touching, like tugging at her way, like it almost looked like he put his hand in where you would button your pants. Like his hand was right there. This cop, undercover, but he pulled, I guess he pulled this little badge out over his neck or whatever, fat slob. And I don't know if it was the friend or the boyfriend of the girl's like, you know, oh, this is, what are you doing? Like, you're harassing us. So he asked his friend, bro, give me your camera, your phone. I want to get video of this. And there's surveillance cameras on the building that pick this up, by the way. As soon as he gets that camera phone, who's not anywhere near the officers, which at this point is now 3 of them, he's just standing there filming this to basically show, hey, what you're doing is wrong. I'm going to show, you know, whatever. I need evidence. They attack the guy, grab the phone, rough him up, put him in cuffs, throw him in the back of the car. As the car starts to leave, he takes the cell phone and throws it and smashes it on the ground. Police officer, your tax dollars paying for that. And the lawyer representing them shows, look, their argument, and if this was not on camera, police would have won, court would have sided with police all day long, done. But the surveillance camera showed the police lied. He lunged at, favorite word, he lunged at us. Clear as day, he didn't even sort of lunge at you and just stood there with his camera. You lunged at him and jumped on him and attacked him. That's what the video shows. So what'll happen? Will this go to court? Will they be fined? Will they be a record on the police department? Nope. What always happens? Lawsuit, let's settle out of court, officer keeps his job, admits no guilt, you take your money, shut your face, everyone's happy. Well, no, I'm not happy. Taxpayer. Who paid his settlement? Which could be hundreds of thousands of dollars, potentially. We did. Oh, on behalf of the police department. So we, as the taxpayer, don't approve of that behavior. We want the cop fired for what he did. The response from his commanding officers is going to be no. It has been handled and settled through our legal department. We can appreciate your concerns, but he was not the police officer was not charged with the crime. Settlement out of court. We didn't have to admit any guilt to anything, therefore he did nothing wrong. We're going to keep him on the force. So what has to happen is you have to stop taking the settlement money, let it go through the courts, because you're still going to be awarded money through the court. And then it goes on the record, basically, of the police department. A little bit different. That's what has to happen. At the same time, can you imagine telling these people, again, it's mostly the lower class of society that this happens to, guys, you're going to get shot and killed by police. You might even mouth off to one of them and they don't like it and they'll shoot you and kill you. And rather than burn the buildings down around you in pure frustration and madness because you can't do anything else, you've already tried using the system and the system said he didn't do anything wrong, and you even have it on video, blatant murder. No, not guilty. We had a citizens grand jury that was selected months ago and found them not guilty. Selected. Oh, who selected them? Well, we did. We who? The government? Yeah. So you, the citizens didn't select this person? No. The government selected these people. Yeah. And by chance, those are the same kind of people that found Rodney King's police brutality. Those guys got off the hook. The guy that got choked in New York, he's off the hook. And again, the whole thing of Ferguson, he said, she said, we don't know the full story. You may say he got off the hook. Not sure about that one. This one right now that's happening, what do you suppose is going to happen to the cop? At worst, it'll be negligent driving. Yeah, but you didn't follow procedure from the time the kid got in the back of the paddy wagon, during the time when he was found in the middle of the thing hurt, didn't follow procedure, still didn't buckle him up, part of procedure, didn't follow that, and then afterwards, so start, center, and end, didn't follow police procedures, and you're going to tell me that it's just negligence. Yeah, it's negligence. So in other words, we'll file the lawsuit, we'll pay you out, have a nice day. So tell that to everybody that this happens to. You may risk being shot and killed, murdered by a police officer. We don't want you to riot. You don't need to burn down your neighborhood because those are other people that live with you. So in other words, don't do anything, as a matter of fact. Suck it up. You'll lose in court. Anyways, the people who did this will get away with their lives. They're not going to pay with their lives. They'll pay a fine that they don't even have to pay. You, the taxpayer, are actually paying for that, if a settlement's even agreed upon. So what does a person do when they realize the system is one-sided? It's never been in my favor. We've been screaming this for a million years. Now the rest of society is starting to wake up and realize this. This leads to revolution. What does history tell me happens? You think this is the first time some group of people in a nation, over the thousands of years of history, where they didn't trust or accept the legal system, court system, whatever was in place at their time, and said, we've had enough, now we're going to be the citizens' grand jury, we're going to convene right now, go get that king's henchman at the time over here to stand trial in front of us. The king's court is now null and void by force, revolution, and now we're going to take care of things. That's where this goes. And you see this perfectly timed Operation Jade Helm military exercise, which is basically a martial law type of military exercise, dealing with irate and upset public rioting, is what this military exercise is happening. And it's happening right now while the rest of this is happening by chance? Coincidence? I was just watching a little video of Alex Jones' InfoWars site. And it shows an AARP, right? How many times have you heard the old person, the retiree, knitting and, under a little couch, and the AARP commercial comes on. And they say, listen to the ambient background sound. It's like the TV's on in the background. If you just listen to the commercial, you just hear that, like, you can tell there's some ambient, like the TV's on while the commercial's going on. It's very quiet. You can't really hear what's being said. Well, I don't know who the hell got the bright idea to just completely amplify the hell out of that TV ad and then re-listen to it to determine what audio was being played in the background as, ambient sound. But whoever did quickly determined the sound in the background of the TV on is a newscast reporting of martial law being declared in America, and police are trying to, quote-unquote, contain the outbreak. And when questioned, AARP says, we used a third-party company to make the advertisement for us, and they decided to use a, what was the word they used? Like an older, back in the day. Where's my phone? I got to use the right terminology. InfoWars. This will take just a second. Ad Council responds to bizarre PSA featuring martial law announcement. So when questioned, now here's what it says. If you want to know what the audio says, and you can go to InfoWars to hear it. Riots nationwide have prompted local governments to declare martial law. The president is asking that citizens find safety and remain calm. Authorities are working to contain the outbreak. Outbreak of a disease or outbreak of martial law? And is martial law being declared because of a disease outbreak? Or just rioting people who have had enough? Quote, we appreciate those of you who have taken the time to voice your concerns about our Caregivers Assistance PSA, public service announcement, and concerns about the background audio file. Our pro bono ad agency who created this video used a pre-existing fictional vintage, that was the word, vintage audio file as ambient background noise to invoke an earlier era. It was not intended to provide any additional messaging or for any additional purpose. The note goes on to apologize for any confusion surrounding the video. And they say at InfoWars why the Ad Council's commercial agency would choose to create a clip announcing martial law after nationwide riots and use it in the context of a serene public service announcement about caregiving still makes little sense. Their explanation that vintage audio was intended to, quote, invoke an earlier era also fails the logic test. There has been no earlier era in the United States where martial law was declared. So, once again, prime example, Lindsey Williams. They're going to put in front of you what the future is going to have in store for you. In their subtle little ways, and they love to use TV, as I've said a million times. And allegedly, AARP is a huge, one of the biggest lobbyists, and sometimes almost a spokesperson for the U.S. government at times. And you mean to tell me some third-party ad company decided to use that audio, which makes absolutely no sense in the world, for an AARP commercial ever? And if I was the company, AARP, that used the third-party ad company and heard that, because you listen to the ad before you approve it, you're going to say, guys, what in the hell kind of ambient background is that? Can't you put on like something that maybe sounds like a TV show, a game show, laughing in the background, No, we're the experts, and we feel that a martial law commercial ambient noise would be best suited for your purposes. Who the hell signed off on that? Again, Lindsey Williams. They're preparing you for what's going to be happening. It's their little way. It's their little way that they have to do things for whatever reason. I don't know if it's some kind of religion they follow, some kind of code of honor they feel they have to follow. They have to let the sheep know what's going to be coming. So, Anyways, riots going to be coming to a country near you. Wait a minute. Did I say coming? Like in the future? No, I'm sorry. They're already here. And they're happening more and more frequently. And they will continue to happen more and more frequently as long as the rule of law is not applied evenly throughout society. You can't have the law enforcers not abide by the law, be able to even murder somebody, and get off the hook. Read another story the other day, just days ago. Undercover cop, off-duty cop behind a business, little strip mall or something. 4 or 5 black kids in their early 20s making a lot of noise as they go walking through the area. He asked them if they would mind shutting up or be quieting down or something. They promptly tell him to F off. Like, we're walking here having a loud chat, whatever the hell's going on, F you. He then turns and shoots his service weapon at him. Hits one of the kids in the hand, headshots the girl somehow, ricochets throughout her brain, kills her instantly. Judge, not guilty. Sir, why'd you even shoot at him? Feared for my life. Why did you fear for your life? Thought I saw him reaching for a gun in his waistband, the male. Okay, and when officers and everyone arrived, did you find any weapons? No, we did not. Nothing, no. Not guilty. You can look at the cop and he looks like a mafia scumbag. Mafioso. They're now in the government. They're in the police departments. And the only way this gets solved is if you physically do something about it. And I'm going to tell you where this will lead to. This is obvious. If this continues to happen, Magic 8 Ball, will this continue to happen? Signs point to absolutely yes. Okay. Magic 8 Ball says yes, this will continue. You're going to start hearing about cops being assassinated by, you're going to hear them as terrorists, gang members, insurgents in America. Pick the terrorist term you want to use. It's kind of like when we go to the Middle East, we invade all these countries, we sit on the oil platforms, because that's why we were there, and then those people say, we don't want you here, you're not really fighting terrorists, you're taking over our oil, so we're going to do what we can to fight you off. We report that as an insurgent terrorist. Al-Qaeda, Taliban, ISIL, ISIS. They refer to themselves as those guys are heroes trying to protect our country. So, what you're going to hear about is something I'm going to bring up from the old fake time traveler guy, John Teeter. And he said in one of his posts, you know how you turn on the TV sometimes and you'll hear about this new weaponry or new non-lethal tool for the police? And they talk about these new tools will be used against the enemy in the future and, this technology. He says, I just want you to know something. When they use the word enemy, they're talking about you. Period. I find that very interesting these days. And I'm going to step out on a little limb here and say, the enemy is you, and you're going to find out here in the coming future. And I got a sneaky suspicion it'll start when the economy takes a dump, majorly. Again, allegedly, September, October timeframe when the party gets started. Doesn't mean the best part of the party will be started at that exact moment, but it could. But that will be the defining moment. It is guaranteed, because when you have 1,000, 2,000 years of these cycles, and there's only been 6 in that time frame, and this is the 7th one, and the importance of the number 7 with Christine Lagarde, etc., 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 and those damn cycles that they keep talking about, giving themselves a clue, hey, it's coming, it's going to be this cycle. There's no way in hell they're going to pass up a time like this and say, well, a lot of people are waking up or this or that or whatever reason. Let's push this out another year, or let's push it. Magic 8 Ball? Are they going to push this out, or is it on like Donkey Kong? Signs point to on like Donkey Kong. That's what I thought. Thanks, Magic 8 Ball. Take care.